Alright, this is Stitch here from Stitch in Time, and this is what I would consider a good setup to start a through hike on the Appalachian Trail, or a lash hike, or even just a regular small section hike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it all out and explain it, and probably go a little more in detail than I usually might, but at the end I'll put it all back in and we'll weigh it up and see what it comes out to. Alright, what I'll do is I'll split it up into sections, and I'll have my big three, then I'll do clothes, and then I'll do my ditty bag and accessories. Give you an idea of what I carry, and if you want you can skip sections that you really aren't interested in. But I've got a fanny pack that I carry, which I keep a few things in. I'll explain that too. And we'll break it down. Well, this is the big three. Some call it the big four. The sleep system, which is your sleeping bag, your pad, and your tent, and your pack. Now, this setup here is really good to about 20 degrees, so it's good for most conditions on the Appalachian Trail you'll come across. Now, if you start early, you're going to get down in the teens at night. You might want to switch out this, which is a quilt, 20-degree quilt with a mummy bag, maybe a 10-degree mummy bag. If you're starting, February, March time, down in the southern sections it gets cold, and I mean there's some miserable weather down there this year. So this is what I would take if I was starting probably March on. And 20 degrees, I've had this down in the 20s and I'm perfectly fine. Now when I get into my clothes section you'll see why. I have some nice warm clothes because I'm a baby. I don't like to be cold. I don't want to be uncomfortable. But we'll start out with, this is a quilt. This is a UGQ Bandit. Now this is the open toe box. You have little cords that you cinch down to close the toe box in. Then it's got a little zipper down here. I really like this quilt. I mean, it's very nice. It's lightweight. I think it weighs, I want to say 18 ounces. It's a 20 degree. It's a 950 down that's treated. It's a waterproof down. And it opens up and makes a blanket if you want. Love this thing. Really, really nice, but its limits are the 20s. If it gets below 20s, you're going to be cold in this. So, yeah, I really like this. If I was going to go and it was going to be any colder, then I would take a mummy bag, but that thing works great. My pack, this is a Zpacks Arc Blast. It weighs 21 ounces, I believe. This is the shoulder strap pouch, which fits a bottle in. I usually keep my day's snacks in there. Like in the morning, I'll throw all my snacks in for the day. And I've got a belt pouch. It just adds, I think both of them together don't even weigh an ounce, but it makes it handy. Now the Arc Blast, I love this pack. It's really comfortable. I mean, the only thing is it's a little flimsy. It's super lightweight, and I mean, it is flimsy. Now it's got a little arc support system in the back, which gives you a little bit of air when you're hiking, which is great. But the thing I've noticed is you can't take this pack and stuff it. I mean, if you take this pack and stuff it down, this little arc will collapse and it's just sitting on your back. But other than that, it's a little flimsy compared to some of your really heavy duty packs like your Ospreys or even your HMG packs. But this thing is so much lighter than those. I mean, you're talking, this thing barely weighs 20 ounces, and even a $300 HMG pack's going to be, close to 30 ounces. So, I mean, you can't beat it. For me, the comfort alone, this thing fits. It's really adjustable. You've got tons of adjustment. Love this pack. I don't know, I've probably got maybe 2-3 weeks of backpacking in on it. I mean, it looks brand new. So yeah, I really like that. But like I said, if you want something durable that you can just toss all your gear in and throw it around, then I probably wouldn't go with this pack. I'd probably go with an Osprey. And but you're going to pay the penalty when it comes to weight. So that's your choice. If you're careful with your gear, you take care of it. Awesome pack. All right. Oh, what I keep my sleeping bag in. This is a Granite Gear. It's a compression waterproof stuff sack, and I will keep my quilt or sleeping bag in it, and I will also keep any other down garments that I have in it. And this thing works pretty good. I've had it for years. It's a little hefty. I think it weighs 3 ounces, 3 maybe 4 ounces, but I can fit all my down gear, my sleeping bag, and everything in it. Cold weather pad. This is hefty, but man, this thing is nice. This is a Thermarest. It's a Neoair xtherm, I think it's called. Now this thing it's kind of hefty. It's 16 ounces, but the R value is 5.7. And when you lay on this thing in a cold night, you can just feel the heat radiating off your body. Love this thing. It comes with a little blow-up sack, so you don't have to sit there for hours blowing it up. This sack actually will expand, and you attach it to the nozzle, and you can just fill this with air, and then push it down, and it inflates the pad that way. Love this thing. I mean, it's expensive, and it's a little hefty, but when it's cold, every little bit counts. I just want to be comfortable at night, so I go with that. I'll pay the weight penalty. Tent is my Zpacks. It's a duplex. This is the spruce green. It's the heavier duty fabric. Love this tent. So light, 21 ounces even with the heavy fabric. I will use it, and I use for steaks. I take, these are the MSR mini groundhog steaks. They're little triangle type steaks, very heavy duty. I mean, I'll even bang these things in with rocks and you can't bend them. They're not that much heavier than like even your titanium shepherd's hooks. They're not really that much heavier. And just for the abuse they can take, and they hold so much better in all different types of ground. I'll carry these every time. So yeah, that and the duplex, awesome combination. The duplex is just great because you have so much room in it. You can get all your gear in this thing, and condensation, some people say, is an issue. I haven't really noticed condensation being an issue other than when it's raining. If it's pouring with rain, I've noticed condensation inside. But if you set it up right, the condensation just drips off the edge. It has a mesh surround. If you have it set up right, any kind of condensation will just drip right through that and not get anywhere near you. There's a little learning curve to setting it up. I mean, I would definitely practice a little bit before I took off and on a hike and hadn't used it before. The way I found to set it up the best is what I will do is I'll set up the back 2 anchor points, and then I'll set up the front trekking pole and set it up that way, and then you can go in and snug all your other ones around it. Love this tent, it's so light. So that's my big 3/4. I really don't know what all this weighs. I should probably just throw it on there and see what all these 3 weigh together. But like I said, this is good to about 20 degrees with this setup. Like I said, below 20 degrees, you might want a bigger mummy bag or a lower degree quilt. When it gets lower than 20, usually I like to go with a mummy bag. But everyone's different. Everyone's got their own opinion, but that's the big 3/4. But all right, here's the clothing. Now, This is for cold and wet weather. This is a full loadout. If you're gonna go on a thru hike, you're gonna want all this gear. You know, you might want to cherry pick if you want, but for me, comfort is the absolute. This is the absolute minimum that I'm going to carry if it's going to be cold and wet. So we'll start out. My actual clothes bag that I keep the clothes in, it's a Zpacks clothes bag. I think it's an extra large, waterproof, very light. Seems durable. I guess I've had this a year now, and it still looks almost brand new. For hiking, I have a fleece jacket. Now this fleece jacket, it's a North Face. I'm not sure what kind it is, what the actual model is, but it's just a light North Face fleece jacket. It probably weighs about 9-10 ounces. And I'll wear this because it breathes. You got a little insulation, and I'll wear it around the fire too, because you can see I've got patches on it where I've actually got sparks coming out of the fire and melted it. I will wear a buff for cold weather, which this is the long one. You can go with the shorter one. This one's I want to say, I can't even remember, maybe 2 ounces. It's a merino wool buff. This thing is super handy. I mean, if it's cold, you can wear it around your neck. You can wear it as a hat. I actually like to fold it in half, and at night I'll pull it up over my nose, or just under my nose, and just to keep me warm around the neck and head. The thing is awesome. Must have. You got to have one of those. Rain gear. When it's cold and wet, you gotta have rain gear. You gotta have some kind of rain protection. It's you know, hypothermia sets in even in 50 degrees if it's raining and you're not protected. This is AntiGravity gear. It's a jacket which I like. I want to say it weighs about 8 ounces, and it has pit zips. It doesn't have pockets, but it has pit zips, which are very important if you're hiking. You know, you're doing a lot of climbing. Just to be able to ventilate underneath that jacket is nice. So, jacket, pants. I think the pants weigh 5-something ounces. If it's going to be cold and rainy, you got to have good protection. So I'll carry this. Once again, that I'll get rid of when it gets warm. In the summer, I'll just go to a poncho. So that's extra weight that you get rid of. I included this in my clothes, but it's a silk bag liner, which I like. I don't know if it really makes you that much warmer in the bag, but you know, if you're out for a long time, you get nasty and stinky, and the down bags and quilts are a pain in the ass to clean. So I'll take this, get in it. It's easy to wash. You get all the stink and funk on it, and you're good to go. I think this is a Sea to Summit silk liner. I think it weighs 3 ounces. Just a regular bandana, just all-purpose, used for whatever. Carry that. Oh yeah, just a micro fleece type towel. Use it to wipe if it's rained all night, just to get the moisture off your tent. Just general purpose, just an extra little rag you can wash with it if you want. Just a little extra. Alright, I will carry in the wintertime the old trusty beanie that I got from work for free. It's, I don't know how much it weighs. It's kind of heavy, but it comes down over my ears, which I like, and it's a little extra protection. Alright, sleepwear. It's a Patagonia base layer. I'm not sure the weight. They've got different weights, 1, 2, 3, whatever. I'm not sure what the hell this is, but it's relatively light. But keep this dry with your sleeping bag, so you've got something warm to get into at night, and a pair of sleep socks. Keep all this together and dry. One pair of extra underwear, and an extra pair of hiking socks. These are Smart Wools. These aren't bad. The ones I hike in that I like the most are Darn Toughs. I like those. They're a little heftier, but they're very, very comfortable. So I keep one extra pair of socks and an extra pair of underwear. All right, gloves. Now, I had a sweet pair of gloves that I really liked, and when I was in Pennsylvania a week or so ago, I lost them in a post office, and I didn't feel like waiting around for it to open to get in. But these I picked up at Dollar General. These are some snazzy gloves. I like these, similar to the ones I lost. You got your fingers out. They're fleece. Very warm, and I think these were $1.99 at the Dollar General in Pine Grove. Perfect. Now these work in combination. If it's really, really cold, these are just regular Nike. They're actually Nike running gloves. They're fleece inside. But what I'll do if it's really, really cold is I'll just double them up. There, talk about some nice warm protection. So that's an awesome winter mitt. Great combination. Dollar General and Nike. Now what I'll do, if it's raining, the Nike gloves, what I'll do, I've got these are some kind of black mechanics nitrile gloves, and they're like extra, extra large. And you can wear them, you know, any way you want really, but what I like to do, if it's raining, sleet, snow, whatever, I'll take the fleece gloves and I'll put these over the top. And it instantly makes a super waterproof glove that even on a cold morning, if you wear this combination, the wind's blocked, your hands stay nice and warm. So what I'll do is I'll carry four of these. I'll carry an extra pair just in case I rip a hole in them, which I haven't yet, and I've used them quite a bit. But it turns out to be a really good combination and very light. These things don't weigh very much at all, but get the mechanics, the black ones, they're a little bit thicker. I don't know what mil, maybe 8 mil, I don't know, 0.8 mil. But get the mechanics, heavy duty ones in the extra, extra large size if you can find them. So that is the clothes so far. Now, this is what I'll take when it's going to be cold, and once again, this stuff you'll ditch as soon as it warms up, but if you're going to be starting when it's cold, you need this stuff. You want to be comfortable. You're getting a tent at the end of the day and you've been cold and wet all day, you want nice warm clothes to put on, and I'm a baby. So this is an Arc'teryx. It's a Cerium, I think it's the LT hoodie jacket. It weighs 10 ounces. It's really, it's light for what it is. It's a lot warmer than like a Ghost Whisperer. It's got a lot more down in it. I think it's got an ounce or two more down in it. Packs up really small. Expensive. This thing's expensive, and I already got burn holes in it, which I've had to patch. But love this jacket. Very, very warm. Pricey. This, another luxury, because I'm a baby. These are goose feet gear, and they are down pants. Now, I'm not sure what kind of down, but these are just down pants. And what I'll do, I'll put these on when I get in my tent. And I mean, even if it's cold or in the morning when you get up, put these on. I mean, you have a nice down layer. You're toasty warm. And to top it all off, I also have some goose feet gear booties. Yeah, I know. But I tell you what, you wear these in your sleeping bag at night, your feet will not get cold. I mean, your feet will stay toasty warm. And I mean, they weigh 2 ounces. So, I mean, come on, for me it's a no-brainer. If it's cold, I want to stay warm, so I carry all this extra stuff. These things are great. Like I said, 2 ounces. I think the pants weigh 5 ounces, and the jacket weighs 10 ounces. So you're talking a pound for a nice down layer. Keep you nice and toasty warm when it's miserable. And this is the clothes. This is what I'll carry. Like I said, when it gets warm, you can switch this stuff out. You don't need the pants and the boots, and you know, when it gets warm, you can switch out the rain gear for a poncho or something lighter. But this is the clothes. All right, so this is the nitty gritty. This is the bare bones stuff that you're going to need for a hike. There's some luxury items in here. Some people won't carry them. You know, me, I want to be comfortable. So I'm going to have some extra stuff in here, and I'll carry the extra weight. Luxury item would be seat cushion. This thing's awesome. Multi-purpose. I mean, you can use it to make a windbreak for your stove. You can use it to fan a fire to get it going. So much more comfortable to sit on one of these if it's wet, on a log, or, you know, just anywhere. This thing is just super handy, and it weighs next to nothing. Highly recommend taking one of these. Piece of Tyvek. This is probably like a 3x2 or 2x4 sheet. Also, you know, you can use it to sit on if it's wet. Just it weighs next to nothing. It's just a handy little piece, so I keep it around. Sometimes I use it as like a doormat going in and out of my tent. Camp shoes. These are some Old Navy flip-flops, dirt cheap. I think they might weigh 4 ounces, but you know, if you've been hiking all day and it's raining, you get to camp, you get these on, you can dry your feet out a little bit. You can also use them to walk across creeks if you don't want to get your feet wet. Camp shoes, they're luxury. I mean, a lot of people don't carry them, but man, I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, putting these things on after you've hiked all day and just being able to dry your feet out, yeah, it's a luxury item, but I'll carry it. I'll add it to my pack. Another luxury item, this is a pillow. This is a Klymit Static X, I think, something like that. It weighs 2.5 ounces. You know, good night's sleep. Very, very important to me. And a lot I like to do is I take my buff sometimes and I'll cover this with a buff, and it makes it nice and soft. It's well worth it. Like I said, luxury item. Carry it or you don't. Water bottles. Now I carry, depending on where I'm going, minimum I'll carry 2 of these. These are a liter each. And sometimes I'll carry a collapsible reservoir of some kind, but these things are awesome. I've got these little aqua clips on them, and what I'll do is, you know, sometimes I can just clip these on the straps of my pack and just have them real handy if I don't feel like digging them out of the back, which it's not too hard on the Zpacks pack, but they're little handy little aqua clips. I got those. I can't remember. I think I got like 5 for a couple of bucks. Handy little things. Aqua clips. Aquaclip.com is where you get them. And they snap on most bottles. Snap on and off. My water filter. This is a Sawyer, the regular squeeze, and a 32-ounce bag, which mostly I like to use as a gravity filter. I've got a little hole I poked in the very bottom, and I'll fill it up and just let it drip filter. You can squeeze it, but you know, it's handy just to let it drip filter. The mini Sawyer, it doesn't flow nearly as fast. It's a lot lighter than this one, and I think they actually have a new Sawyer out that's even smaller than this, but it supposedly flows the same rate. But I haven't tried it. This thing's great. You just got to remember, if it gets below freezing, put it in your sleeping bag, because this has a membrane in it that if it freezes, the membrane will crack, and you really don't know that it's cracked, and your dirty water is just flowing straight through it. So you can't tell, but just remember, if it gets below freezing, you got to put this in your sleeping bag at night. This little PVC pipe that I carry, it works great. It's light, but I mean, you know, you can jam it up if there's a really poor trickle coming out of a spring. A lot of times I'll jam it up in there, let it clear out, and you'll have a little flow coming out. So this has come in handy a couple of times, especially in the summer when springs have been dry. Jam it in there and get a little flow going. This is a scoop that I made out of an old Sawyer squeeze bag. Just cut it off, made a scoop out of it so I can get water out. Sometimes you'll get to places where you can't get your bag in the water, or you can't get any kind of flow and you need to scoop water out. This thing works out great, doesn't weigh that much. Handy little thing. All right, let's see here. Well, let's go to the cook kit. Let's get the cook kit out of the way. All right, here's the food bag and cook kit. This is a Zpacks food bag. It's got a Dyneema cord that I keep to throw it in a tree if I'm gonna do that. Toke's titanium spoon, long handle, smooth bowl. Gets down in your mountain house meals, whatever you're cooking in, your little Ziploc meals that you're gonna cook. Thing works great. Pot. Now, you want a big enough pot to cook in, especially if you're through hiking. This thing is a 650 Timberbrothers pot. And I think it's like 20 bucks on Amazon. It weighs, I want to say 3 or 4 ounces. But it's perfect. Your gas canister fits down in it. BRS 3000 stove. I've talked about this before in prior videos. This thing's awesome. 26 grams. And a Bic lighter. Keep it all together in one little cook set. I carry an extra Bic just in case and my other stuff there, but yeah, this setup works great. Like I said, if you're going to do a through hike, you want to be able to cook in a pot. So you got ramen, you got other stuff. You want a pot big enough to be able to cook a meal in. You don't want to go with a smaller cup. So all that fits in there just fine. Goes in there. And also if you got mountain house, you can take and the mountain house meals will fit right in this little thing and insulate it. Keep them warm in the winter time. All right, now this is the ditty bag. This is all the little knickknacks that I carry. And I probably carry more than I should, but we'll go into each little thing and explain it. Here is the first aid kit. And here I carry band-aids, antibacterial gel. I got tweezers in case you get a tick. I got gauze, I've got tape, I've got KT tape, all those little things. Just in case, you never know. Always good to be prepared. Alright, and here, this is my little fix-it kit. And in here, I have patch kit for a blow-up mattress, your thermarest. I have repair tape for tarps, Dyneema tarps. I also have aqua tabs. Now, these are chlorine tabs that, you know, if I forget and fall asleep and leave my filter out and it freezes and doesn't work, then I have these that I can go back on and purify water with if I have to. But I don't like these because they make the water taste nasty. So kind of like the Aquamira, that stuff makes the water taste nasty, and I don't like that. A little sewing kit which has needles, thread, a few buttons, and a little small safety pin. This is an extra rubber O-ring for my BRS 2000 stove, just in case the other one goes bad. Extra smart water bottle. Cap, which I carry along with an extra smart water bottle pop cap, which is handy because you can back flush your Sawyer filter with it. I have them on my other bottles too, but just an extra one too. Also unnecessary, but you know, you never know. Be prepared. This is an extra rubber gasket for the Sawyer because they're notorious for losing them. So I carry that. I have a little mini Sharpie in case I want to write a note to anyone or mark on my maps. More Dyneema tape just to fix repairs. I have a really small thing of super glue just for emergencies. That also, you know, if you get a really bad cut and you're in the middle of nowhere, you can use this to seal the cut up. So I carry that, and I think that's the extent of my little first aid slash ditty bag stuff. Now we'll get into the toiletries. All right. Now, wet wipes. This is just a few emergency wet wipes. I carry wet wipes in my little fanny pack, which I'll show you in a minute. So those are just backups. In here, I carry, this is a thing of bag balm, and it is really good for chapped lips, chafe skin, especially if you chafe in the summertime. This stuff works great. And you know, just to have around, because you just never know. It works on everything, really. A thing of Neutrogena hand cream, just regular lotion. Like this stuff's, you really don't need to carry it, but I carry it because I just have for years. And a thing of Afrin no drip nasal decongestant, because this thing's heavy too. I mean, you really don't need to carry this. This is another luxury item, really, but if I get out and you know, you get a cold or you're stopped up and you got the sniffles, you know, I can't sleep. So a few squirts of this and you know, it cleans you out and you can sleep through the night. So once again, not necessary, but I carry it because I have for years. All right, toothpaste, just a regular cheap CVS toothbrush. Love these things. Thing of toothpaste and a thing of floss. All right, here I have my extra Bic, because you always want two Bics. Contact case. I do wear one contact in my right eye, so I have the contact case, and I will have a couple extra contacts. And this is contact solution. I just took an old Visine jar or little Visine thing and filled it with contact solution. Carry that. All right, these are meds. All right, what I carry antacid, just in case. A few antacid chews. Ibuprofen. In here, I have Pepto-Bismol tabs and what are these other little pink critters? I can't remember. Oh, these are just Benadryl. So, you know, any kind of allergy, these are just antihistamine. So, you know, even if you got stung by a bee and you start swelling up, any kind of antihistamine. And the Pepto tabs are great, you know, if you get some bad water and you really are like, you know, projectile vomiting, diarrhea. These things are what you need. So, earplugs. Yeah, you got to have these, you know, depending on who you're with, and if you get stuck in a shelter or you're stuck close to people that snore, like a lot of the people that I backpack with are really bad snorers. Oh, it just keeps me up all night, so we'll carry those. This is just a little zip tie that I carry just in case for emergencies. All right, I think that's everything. Oh, don't forget my sweet little fanny pack. Now, in here, this is where I carry things that I might need. I keep things, my battery pack. This is a Anchor. This is a 10,000 milliamp battery pack. I will keep my wet wipes, being as they're handy, and you never know when you're going to need these. You're going to have to make a run for the shitter or the woods. Keep those in the fanny pack. Keep headphones and charge cables in here. And this is handy when you get in town you know, if you're in a restaurant or you're somewhere, you keep all your battery pack and your charge cables in your fanny pack, and you can just pull them out and plug them in and charge them. You always know, they're always handy. This is an Anchor. This is a little more heavy duty. This is I think it's an 18-watt charger, dual port IQ. It's not really that heavy, and it's got dual ports, so I can charge my phone and my battery pack at the same time. In here I also keep my headlamp. This is a Nightcore. I think it's a 25 model. This thing's awesome. I took the strap off and made a little, smaller strap with a little stretch cord on it. Makes it just a little lighter. Knocked an ounce or so off of it. But man, I love this light. It's rechargeable. Great settings. It's got dual switches. You got one for your red light and then one for your white light. Really like this thing. This is probably my favorite headlamp that I've ever had. And also, in my fanny pack, I keep my deadly knife. This is a carbon fiber knife that, you always need something just to have something to cut. If you're in a dire situation. One time, this thing protected me from an angry squirrel. I mean, I really took care of that squirrel with this thing. But it weighs next to nothing. It's just, it's just a little something to have to cut stuff with. So that's stuff I keep in my fanny pack, which I really don't include in my base weight, so we won't add that into the base weight. So this is a full comfort setup. I would recommend this down with the setup that I have to 20 degrees, no problem whatsoever. And if you want to go colder than that, just switch out the bag, get a colder bag. But I mean, I've tried this. I've been out multiple times in cold weather, and this is a perfect setup for me. Everyone's different, like I said, I have a lot of luxury items. Some people might not carry, but as far as a long distance hike, this is a really good setup that I would recommend. Don't take my word for it, but this is what I would recommend. All right, this is the order which everything goes in the pack. Kind of fine-tuned it over the years. We'll start out in the bottom goes my sleeping bag or quilt, and this is in a waterproof stuff sack. Goes in the very bottom. On top of that goes the clothes bag. Then on top of that, I make a layer with these three. That's the ditty bag, puffy jacket, and my mattress. And then on top of that goes my food bag, cook kit. Empty with no food. All right, then the side pockets, I put my water bottles in one side, and then my filtration stuff in the other side. All this stuff I want access to all day. Then back pouch, I keep my tent. It goes in the back because that's usually the first thing out and the last thing in. And it works out pretty well because you can, if it's raining, you can pack up all your gear in your tent and then get out, pack your tent up last and just put it in the pouch. And my little Tyvek sheet goes down in here. And my camp shoes, which are handy in case you got some creek crossings and you don't want to get your regular shoes wet at that given time. And on the very top, which I need the most, my sit pad. So that's how it's packed. Let's throw it on the scales and see what we got.
Achoo!